Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grain. Today's video, we're going to have a review of the Warhammer animation project that has just dropped on Games Workshop's Warhammer community website, the preview, I guess, for Warhammer Plus. Now, the preview is for an episode of the Hammer and Bolter series. This is a short story mini-series, effectively telling a bunch of different stories from both the worlds of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, and all those myriad worlds in between there somewhere in the different games. Now, the first story we've gotten is Hammer and Bolter, Old Bale Eye. And so to start off with, I'd like to go through the credits because I think there's a little bit to talk about on these for starters. So first of all, script is written by Guy Haley, one of the fantastic authors working for Black Library. I really enjoy a ton of his stuff, especially all his stuff involving the Prince Mesa saga in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Animation is by Farside Features. I won't pretend I know an awful lot about many of the animators. I know a bunch of former YouTube and other sort of independent animators making fan-made content were the animators for this. I didn't really watch a lot of them, so I'm completely unaware of who any of them particularly are. I've seen a little bit of Astartes, that's it. So if this is one of them, I'll be interested to know if and what you thought of it in comparison to their other stuff. And then music is by Jonathan Hartman. Really cool. I will say one thing on this. I think their credits were really short. I would like to see full credits acknowledging, first of all, Guy Haley, who wasn't actually acknowledged. They acknowledged Warhammer Storyforge. I'd like to see the actual writers acknowledged. I mean, it's just like a Black Library novel. I would really like to see those writers acknowledged fully. And I'd also like to see all voice actors and everyone involved in the animation entirely and all of that production team put together and properly reckoned, sort of, I guess, given their plaudits at the end in proper credits. That's my only issue with that, is I just wish proper credits, give everyone the rightful distinction they deserve, give all your voice actors some acknowledgement. I'd really like to know and follow them and get to know the ones I like. Right, and so the story, let's get into this. So for starters, as mentioned, Hammer and Bolter talked about Old Bale Eye. So the story sits around an orc run-third, and he's talking to these small two orc boys he caught trying to eat his little grot companion. And so the run-third sits them down and tells them a story about the biggest and baddest orc there ever was, Mr. Ghazghkull Thraka, and his mighty enemy, Old Bale Eye. Now, this is a really interesting dynamic to the story. First of all, it's really talking about, it gives like sort of a comedic feel to the Warhammer 40,000 universe with the run-third sitting down and recanting this tale to these two orcs. I thought it was really light-hearted and fun, and really just gave you a good setting for this. I mean, you're going to get some people who don't really like this more comedic look at Warhammer 40k, but I thought this was fine. I thought it was fun and an interesting way to tell a story, to have this sort of sit around a campfire almost style of storytelling. And so the orc begins by recanting his tale and talking to these two small orcs on how if they want to be big and badder and get stronger and get muscles, that they're going to need a mighty enemy like Ghazghkull has. And so it proceeds for the run-third then to talk to these two orc boys and tell them the story of Commissar Yarrick, obviously Old Bale Eye, and Ghazghkull Thraka, the Beast of Armageddon, and so their fights on both Armageddon and their fights on Golgotha, and how Ghazghkull captures Yarrick but lets him go because he wants a good fighty enemy. Tells about the teleporters and all that sort of stuff. Gives a very quick summation, but as someone would around a campfire. Wouldn't go into too much detail with the story, but definitely gets the point across and tells you it all. It was a really fun story. I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the sort of animation to this as well. It was a really interesting style of animation where you had a lot of big backdrops with things working in front of the backdrops. It was a very distinct style of animation. Very reminds me of like early 80s cartoons. Things like He-Man and Master of the Universe, definitely gives me those sort of vibes of how the animation was worked. I mean, it by far was not any fantastic over-the-top animation. It was fun and good and solid for what it was trying to do. I really think the animation suited this particular story, and I believe this is the sort of style of animation we're going to go through with Hammer and Bolter, which I don't mind. I like these short stories being really cool little picturesque animations like they were, so this was really fun. And so, positives and negatives. So first of all, like I said, it was fun and it was lighthearted. It told a story in a really interesting way and kept me entertained. It was definitely 20 minutes I really enjoyed. I was laughing at particular parts, and there were definitely some good puns and jokes and all that sort of stuff in there. I really enjoyed it. It also had gore, and so this was something I think a lot of people were worried about, like, where are we going to get this? Hammer and Bolter definitely seems like the most Saturday morning cartoon of all of these, and I don't mean that as any way a negative thing at all. It is what it is, and I think Hammer and Bolter has a particular place amongst all these Warhammer animations if that is going to be what it is aimed as. These sort of cartoons are going to be important for getting newer, younger viewers into the hobby, and as always, it's always those young viewers coming to the hobby that are the most important part, because old grognards like myself and many of my friends, we've been in this for ages, we've got disposable income, and we'll be in the hobby. I mean, we're all too far deep now to ever get out of it. I'll be doing this when I'm 50 and when I'm 60. But those new-blooded players, those 16, 17-year-olds, or younger, those 8 to 10-year-olds watching this and enjoying this, because it is, I guess, for a lesser extent, family-friendly, are really important. Having a cartoon like this is important on that streaming service, so that way we can get those new people into it, and eventually they become, like us, old grognards that get angry at everything anyone ever does in Warhammer. But you get my point. I love seeing new people get into the hobby, and I really do think this particular animation will get more people in, and so it was fun. Like I said though, the animation is solid and it certainly suits this style of story. No kid is going to care too much about the most detailed animation at all, but it was good animation. Take nothing away, it was good. It was the style they obviously went for, and it was the type they went for with this, and it was very well done for what it was. I definitely though would like to see more high quality animation in other story arcs, and we've seen some of the stuff with Angel Exterminatus. Is that the one with the Blood Angels? I think I'm getting the name right. No, Angels of Death, that's the one. Angels of Death, I'm really excited for that, because that looks like a much more higher quality animation that I think a lot of people want to see, so I'm really excited for that. But really, really cool. I want to see more higher quality animation, but I love that this was what this animation was. And so lastly, I want to leave your thoughts. Have you gone and watched this? Don't forget you can only watch it for the next 24 hours. I think a few of those have passed by the time this video goes live, so definitely do go give it a watch. I'd love to know all your thoughts on it. I'm really excited for Warhammer Plus. I can't wait to watch more stuff of what they put up there, use the apps, and those exclusive miniatures look amazing. And I will definitely be getting both for the channel. But without further ado, thank you all for watching. Leave some comments below. Let us know what you thought of Hammer and Bolter, and let us know what you're excited to see next from Warhammer Plus and Warhammer Storyforge. Well, thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, while you're at it, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here, you can do so by following the link in the description of the video to our Discord server. And if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked in the description of the video, as is a link to our Teespring store where you can purchase some merch to help support the channel as well. We'd like to give a shout out to everyone who does help support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members. So a special thanks to all our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dynet226. And thank you again to all our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, Locke Lorick, Matt Mollim, Becca Kinski Groupie, and the Johnny84. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the fantastic art for the channel, and to Xmorphic, who does a fantastic job at helping run and do all the background work for our Discord server. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.